It's time to shine, my friends. It's time to get started. We've taken a look at what we're designing. We've discussed the design pattern, the flow of what we're building for this social media AI agentic brain that's going to research for us and post for us and do all the heavy lifting. And we have an account now on the platform where we will be building this no code, low code platform. It is both no code and or low code, in case you were wondering about that. Now, again, you don't need to be a programmer to do this course. We're going to explain, well, I'm going to explain the royal we as we go along. So the first thing, and no, we're not going to be programming in this course, but remember, this tool that we're using is basically coding for us under the hood. So having some fundamentals in programming like OOP, understanding how JavaScript works inherently, a few little things. I'm going to explain it as I go along. I mean, that's why I got my computer science degree. It's so that I could try to be a Udemy instructor. All that aside, what I want you to do now is go back to the dashboard, top right where the Launchpad button, create a new scenario is, I should say. Click on this. This is where we build our scenarios. What the heck are scenarios? In Make.com, a scenario is basically their version of calling this workflow. Each workflow is basically an automation when you take out the AI. So it's an automation meaning what? And what do we mean by workflow? Basically, it's just a system that connects different applications and services in order to perform a series of actions that you set up based on these triggers and conditions that you also set up. And what's the point of this? Well, when you automate things, then they get done a lot faster and they get done with minimum error compared to using humans, right? And that scales for businesses, personal life, whatever it is. Examples, in case you're confused, well, sales lead automation, if you're creating new leads, e-commerce order processing. Imagine if you had a Shopify, or imagine you had an e-commerce store, and every time there was an order, you would manually put it in. Oh no, hell no, right? This is a great way to create an automation workflow that's going to take care of that for you. Social media auto posting, and all those things are automations and workflows. But don't be confused. It's not AI, right? Because it's not necessarily AI. They don't have to be to get the job done. When you introduce AI on top of it, basically you end up creating these workflow automations that then have super intelligence behind it. And the AI's job is the human's job. Basically, the decision-making process that you can add on top of the automated workflow, it removes the human element and replaces it with an AI. And that AI then changes it from being a workflow automation into agentic AI end-to-end automations or end-to-end workflows. And so that's all a whole lot of things to say that basically scenarios are automated workflows. It's basically where we're going to build. You can set up your Google Sheets to your email. When somebody emails you, you can move that information into a Google Sheet or a Google Doc, things like that. That's what you call scenarios in Make.com. But when you add AI on top of the scenario and you add that human decision-making process with an AI, that's when you start to get to AI agentic workflows. So a great way to think about it is that AI agents function similarly to scenarios Make.com, but they have AI decision-making, AI-driven decision-making. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to supercharge this into AI-driven decision-making, I should say. All right, so we should have our new scenario open up. That's enough setup. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of what this scenario is supposed to be about. Let's stop here, and in the next lesson, let's actually go through in the scenario. We see there's a whole bunch of things here. Let's go through what it is, and let's set up the very first part of our system, which will be what? Well, it's this plus button here, and this is where everything must start. Every scenario has to start, since this is a one-way data flow, with a trigger event. And so we're going to take a look at that in the next lesson. And from there, I promise we will get started.